Our video today was made possible by arcade game developer Wahlap Technologies, as well as viewers like you and Arcade Heroes members. Thank you.
Arcade Heroes.
Greetings, it's Adam with ArcadeHeroes.com, and we're starting to get some new game news as we slowly creep towards the IAPA 2023 trade show. Now, if you're new to the arcade industry as it is these days, what that is it's essentially E3 for amusement, but it's a trade show that happens every November, the week before Thanksgiving. And it's been in place for over 100 years. But in, I'd say, the past 20-25 years, it's become more prominent for the arcade side of the whole amusement, location-based entertainment business to show off their latest, greatest games. And now, this particular game that we're going to talk about today, it's not debuting at IAPA, it's debuting at a different trade show called GTI Asia China Expo, which starts on September 11th in Guangzhou, China. And where Wahlap is a sponsor to Arcade Heroes. I thank them for sending me all the information on this and everything, but I should say that I haven't been able to play the game yet, and so since it hasn't shown up over here out west. But regardless, I always try to retain objectivity as best as I can, but still had to get that out of the way. But as I posted to the website yesterday, I just didn't have time to do this video until now. This is a new game that was announced that is within the Asphalt Legends series. And so, as you may likely know, Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade was released to the industry, I think it is 2021. And here for North America, it was handled by LII Games. They essentially served as a cabinet, I think, the manufacturer as well as the sales distributor there, and then there are other distribution networks that will carry LAI product and sell that to arcade operators like myself. And now it needs to be clear that as of this moment, this new game, Asphalt Moto Blitz DX, has not been picked up by any North American or European distributor that I know of, as far as things go at the moment, but this will change. Wahlap is just showing this in China, where Wahlap serves as kind of that distributor, but it's possible that LAI will carry this since they're doing Asphalt 9 Legends. I wouldn't be surprised, not that I have any inside knowledge to this, but I wouldn't be surprised if LAI gets first pick for something like this due to whatever contract they put together with Wahlap for Asphalt 9 Legends, but they could pass on it for whatever reason, and then somebody else could take it. Wahlap does work pretty frequently with Sega. Sega right now is selling Storm Rider 2, which was also developed by IGS. I guess while I'm talking, I should play the trailer here. But IGS is a developer based out of Taiwan. They've done a lot of arcade games, but they've become pretty prominent in designing these racing games. They also do Speed Driver. They did Overtake. They did the Storm Rider that I mentioned. I also believe they were the principal developers behind Asphalt 9 Legends. And so now they're taking on Moto Blitz, which by my understanding, but if I am wrong, please correct me in the comments, that this is based upon an update to Asphalt Legends 8. And that added motorcycles or something to it. But like Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade, it should have changed quite a bit from the console or mobile versions that are out there. But as you can see, it's a motorcycle racing game, but you do get to race against cars. Doing that, it has nitrous, it has drifting, it has tricks, it has the ability to take other vehicles down by double pumping the brake so that you can destroy a car or another motorcycle. Granted, this is not in gameplay. I think it's in gameplay engine, but not like not direct capture of somebody sitting down at the machine and just playing it straight. It's been cinematographized. I'm not sure if that's the correct word, but yeah, that is coming soon. And let's see, here's the cabinet. Maybe I should zoom out just a little bit so you can see that. And so this is shipping in a twin cabinet configuration where it's essentially two cabinets kind of fused into one. They are linked, and so you have this marquee which makes it seem like one unit with two screens and two controllers, but also the coin mechanism piece appears to also be connecting the two sides together. Twin models are nothing new in the arcade industry. Outrun, Final Lap, Outrun 2, those all, can't remember if Outrun actually did or not. Outrun 2 definitely did, as I used to own a twin model, but that's been a very long common thing, especially with racing games, to offer. But these are 49-inch screens. The bikes are swivel bikes, just like pretty much any other arcade racer out there. It has a wind blower right there, so you can feel like wind's blowing in your face. How that works in practice is oftentimes hit and miss. There's some games where I don't even notice it, other ones where it's very effective, and so I can't say how this one feels until I get a chance to play it. But like Storm Rider 2, this does have a motion base. However, apparently it's a little more complex than the Storm Rider 2 base was posted here. There's a chart comparing the different features, and this one, it says it has a motion camera. I'm not 100% sure what that means, if it like turns on when it detects motion or somebody playing there, or if it's just dynamically showing the player the entire time that they're in gameplay. But back to the motion platform, it has a 3-axis dynamic platform, whereas Storm Rider 2 has a 2-axis one. But then there are some other options, but I have a little bit more to go off of thanks to Wahlap. Let me pull up the intro here that they sent, which was on an Excel file. And so this just lays out the different game features, and I did not write this, but it mentions how it's a motorcycle themed racing arcade game in the Asphalt series with 10 of the world's top car manufacturers, saying that they license them. It has 14 well-known motorbikes that you can ride. There are 6 supercar NPC rival cars. It depends on the game mode where you race against one of those cars, and it allows for bikes and cars to compete at the same time. There was a game back in the 90s from Taito called Dangerous Curves that maybe some of you have played out there, but I think it's kind of rare. I'm not sure if it's properly emulated or not. But that one, it had in its game cabinet, one side was a driver, the other side was a motorcycle, and that was a game where it was essentially bikes versus cars. I have a game here from a Chinese company called SEA that was released through Sega Amusements, called Hot Racers. It was designed for kids, but one side is a bike and the other side is a car. But this is not a very usual thing, and I'm not aware of there ever being a game where you have an arcade game where you have supercars versus super bikes, so to speak. And so that's an interesting twist on the typical motorcycle racer, you could say. And so cool new cool frame design, which I believe it's talking about the cabinet, high-speed rotation light effects. It probably means there's LEDs in the bike seat itself. Like if we go back to the image on the web page, I just got to hide the right thing here. So like right there where you see the green and yellow stuff, that probably has a rotation type effect, is to what I would gather from what that means there. And then we also have it's a motorbike controller that you sit on. You can swing the special 3-axis dynamic platform, simulating a more 3-dimensional and more realistic driving feeling. Also, I would assume the vibrating horn thing that it mentioned is a subwoofer in the seat, and so with that, it might make the bike vibrate as you drive. The original game's rich stunt gameplay is perfectly integrated into the physical arcade. So again, they've likely changed this drastically from the mobile or console version so that it fits with the needs of an arcade. As I've said many times, if you just take a console game and put it into an arcade and don't really change anything other than adding a timer or adding coins to it, it's generally not going to do very well. Games that are modified to work with the arcade nature of things do better, and that's happened with a lot of ports from console to arcade. NFS Heat Takedown is one that also changed things quite a bit. And in that essence, it makes this an arcade exclusive because it is a different experience than what you get at home. But you can drive over jumps and do stunts, perform drifts as mentioned, tap the brakes twice to do your spin. Like in Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade, there is a button for spinning on the steering wheel, and so that makes it easy to do that and destroy your opponents. Use stunts to build up nitrous and press the nitrous to do the nitrous, and you can press it again in the purple area. I assume there would be a gauge, and that'll be purple, and so probably just with the right timing you can get an extra boost. And it mentions the hardware quality has been upgraded with enhanced air vents for more powerful airflow. I think Storm Rider 2 had those air vents, and that's what I'm assuming they're talking about, is they upgraded that system so that it becomes more realistic. And like I said, most racing games, at least motorbike games, have this sort of thing now, but a lot of them it's just not very noticeable, and it also kind of depends on the position you're leaning in on the bike. But before, I have played a couple where it really got into your face and it really felt like you were like outside playing, and so just hopefully that's what this upgraded system allows for. Each position is equipped, or I think this means cabinet, is equipped with 2 speakers and 1 subwoofer independently to make for immersive sound, dual 49-inch screens. It doesn't mention though if it's 4K or just 1080p HD, or maybe 10 or 1440p. Has 4 special scenarios across all continents, and a 5th scenario will be updated later. I'll show you a slideshow in a moment that also seems to get into that. When they say in-store 4-player online play, I think that means linked play. So when you can have 2 twin units, link them together so you could have up to 4 people playing at a time. But there is something with online play, as we'll see here. It mentions 3 levels of difficulty for each scenario in free selection mode. It has a career mode of 4 types of races to enrich your experience, and moto racing with classic motorbikes, hybrid racing where you have the bikes versus the cars, time limit across the archway to reach the finish line within a challenging time attack mode is what that sounds like. You have a one-on-one superbike duel. Career mode has 5 leagues of increasing difficulty with a total of 24 races. Each race has 3 objectives, which you can achieve by upgrading your current motorbike and improving its attributes. I do like when these games have these RPG leveling elements, like Maximum Tune 5, which is sitting right here to my left, and that, or to your right on my camera, that has a leveling system where you upgrade your horsepower, you upgrade your handling, you can upgrade your parts. The parts don't affect how your car goes, but obviously the other 2 do, and at least what I've seen with Maximum Tune, it's become a better earning game than, say, Cruisin', which doesn't have that sort of leveling system, and so I do appreciate that when these games add that kind of element to it. Perfectly past 24 races to upgrade your bike to the full level 99, I guess, or level 24 perhaps. And it's the challenge progress and level are saved independently. I'm not sure if that means saved to the machine or saved to the cloud. This does connect to the internet, so it's possible that it saves to the cloud. As it mentions here, it has a WeChat scanning code for your account number, but I've never used WeChat. I know it's a thing in China. I have no idea if it's used at all here in the States. So if this game does come over to the States, might they do a different kind of system? I'm not sure. And then there's ways to dress your character up. It says tens of thousands here in the slideshow. We'll see in a moment. It mentions up to 7.5 million. And if well, if you use your player account, it'll see how often you play, and if you play a certain amount, it'll unlock a limited car model. I really appreciate that. Timed locks is something that this industry has seemed to have forgotten about. It's something that we introduced with like Tekken and other fighting games where they would have timed unlocks, or the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, as more people played it, it would unlock things for everybody. And it's sad to me that we've just kind of tossed those things out in favor of just sanitizing things. So I do appreciate that they've added that sort of thing there, and then it also will unlock more stuff for your costumes, and you can build your own motorbikes and race with friends online, as it says here. But let's open up the slideshow. Alright, so there's the cabinet and all of its glory, a link to the YouTube video, some dimensions in centimeters, and 3,000 watt power. I know one thing with Asphalt 9 Legends Arcade is you had to get something like a 20 amp circuit per machine for the deluxe motion model. I'm not sure if that's the case with Storm Rider 2 or this one. So it mentions the product features where it's got a famous IP, top of the line brands, and racing suits, and the 3 companies that have come together to work on this. And so you can do, as it mentioned, beat the supercar there, which is always fun. And here are some of the brands that you'll encounter: Ducati, Honda, Yamaha, Triumph, Pagani, W Motors, etc. And now this is where I am a little bit confused, where with what we had on the on that Excel sheet that I just went over, as oops, let me go back to that because it's mentioned, unless it's not going to. Oh, sorry, my slideshow's going all crazy now. Because that mentioned 24 races, and I'm guessing that just these are the scenes, but you'll get different races across these tracks. Maybe there's different like mirror parts of the track, or it's a large track where each race does one segment of the track instead of the full thing at once. But you have the Scottish Highlands, the Shanghai Harbor, New York City, and the Nevada Desert. And then with an online update, you'll have a port in Osaka. But again, I just wasn't 100% sure with what it mentioned with all the racers. And then here's where it's showing the different parts, and it does look like kind of a mobile sort of thing where you can maybe collect certain points to purchase things for your character avatar, but it didn't mention that, so I'm not sure. That's something we'll have to wait and see about. Just that it has a lot of customization options, it does, so there's that. And that's also something that we don't get a ton of these days in the arcade business. Once in a while we might, but particularly with, I guess, microtransactions, that is not something that's common at all. The only game that comes to mind is Outnumbered by LAI Games, that had that through its app. But then you also have these 4 modes now. Another thing that kind of confuses me is it does not mention career mode here, so I don't know if that's actually 5 modes or if maybe the classic tournament mode is the career mode that it mentioned on that or not. But you have your classic tournament, your mixed with versus the supercars, or the one-on-one motor versus supercar, or sorry, car versus motorbike, and then curfew, where you have to hit the arcs, probably like a checkpoint, to keep your timer going until you cross the finish line. But again, not sure where the career mode fits into one of these 4, if it is one of those or not. This is where it mentions the stunts and hitting your brake twice, and then a little more detail on the bikes themselves. So again, the vibrating horn, I'm pretty sure that's just a subwoofer speaker in the seats. And again, I'm not sure what motion camera means exactly. My best guess is it's a dynamic avatar. Sega's done that plenty of times with their games, as I think Namco had a patent on their Namcam thing. I'm not sure if that's still in place or not, but I guess one way to get around that is with a dynamic camera. And then here's what I posted on arcadeheroes.com comparing the different motorbike games that are out there. Speed Rider 3DX was designed by IGS. I don't think it was carried by Wahlap, however. I do have video of that on my channel. Superbikes 3 Motion is not available in the States. It's available in China. For some reason that I don't fully understand, I guess I should just ask Eugene, Jarvis about this, but Roth Thrills has done motion versions of H2 Overdrive, Cruise and Blast, Superbikes 3, but they only released them in Asia and China. And I don't know why they don't bring that over here. Now, sometimes those machines have found their way over here through an import, but it's kind of weird to be importing an American-made or American-developed game and back to the States. Yeah, maybe it's just that over there they pay more for that sort of thing. And then you also have these comparisons here. And then, again, this is where on the tracks it's just a little bit confusing because it mentions 4 scenes, 12 tracks, and then an online update with 1 scene and 3 tracks. And so I'm not 100% sure how many tracks come with Moto Blitz exactly. And I would also assume where it says Game Standard Racing 4 Tournaments, I think that means modes. You have 14 motorcycles to choose from. Oh, I thought in Superbikes 3 you didn't have supercars, but maybe I'm forgetting. And you have more brands. You can connect up to 4 players. I guess that's one place where Superbikes wins is 8. But total game time, interesting that they have that. That would probably be average play time that is seen through location testing, so it's comparable to the other ones there. But yeah, that pretty much covers us for Asphalt Moto Blitz DX. Are you interested in this game? If you want to see it in the States or as well as Europe, who would you like to see carry it? Sega, LAI, somebody else? What will the price be on this? No clue. I would assume that it would be something comparable to Storm Rider 2, which when I saw a price on that, I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 30,000. It might have been under that. It's been a while since I've seen the price for that one. And of course, you get 2 units with 1 purchase, and so that would make it somewhere like 15,000 per seat. Don't know where it might land on that, but yeah, new game for arcades, one that's not ticket redemption like I talked about. And I will do another video for anybody interested in redemption. One thing I didn't cover in that video was the reasons why redemption earns the way it does, and it's just because I was almost recording for an hour already and I didn't want to keep droning on. But I'll do another video about that, so stay tuned. But again, let me know what you think about this one in the comments below, and we'll catch you on the next video.